Good morning children, welcome back to online class, history class. So unit 7 anti-colonial movements and the birth of nationalism we are learning. Yes, one class already over, I am going to continue that lesson. So before that in the last class what are the things I told, that one we can recollect, I can recollect afterwards we can enter into the today's portion. Okay, so the last class that the peasants as well as the tribal people, they were against the British policies like that we learned, is it? So four types of the rebellion I told: restorative rebellion, religious movements, social banditry, as well as that mass insurrection. So those things and all I discussed with you, is it? Then that tribal uprisings as well as the peasants uprisings. Under that peasant uprising, what are the things I told? Farasi movement, Shaji Hariyatullah, yes, Shaji, yes, Shariatullah, like that I told, I think so. Yes, the next one, Wahhabi rebellion, Wahhabi movement in Paraset, the Titumir was responsible for that. Yes. Then tribal uprising, under the tribal uprising, Santal's rebellion. Yes, Santal's whole, like that I said, is it? Santal's wholes, as well as that Munda rebellion. Yes, Munda rebellion. Birsa Munda was the leader of this Munda rebellion. So these are the things and all we learned already, is it? So today's class, which one we are going to learn, 7.2. Under that 7.2 it is given, children. Yes, in the year, the lower classes itself you might have learned, I think so, in the year 1857. Yes, in the year 1857, what happened in the sense, the British rule, yes, the British rule witnessed. In 1857, the Great Revolt was occurred, yes, in India. Yes, the Great Revolt, how they were considered in the sense, the British historians, this after all, military revolt like that they were described. Okay, yes, at the same time, Indian historians, how they were considered that Great Rebellion, is first war of independence, first war of independence. Likewise, they were considered, that Indian historians, they were considered the Great Rebellion as first war of independence. Okay, children. Yes. So here what is given? What is given in the sense, in the year 1857, the British people, British rule is witnessed a biggest challenge. They met a challenge, that's a biggest challenge to its existence, in the sense of survival. Existence in the sense, what is the meaning? Survival. Yes. So initial stage, it began, otherwise it began in the sense, it started as a mutiny of Bengal presidency Sipais. Okay. So Bengal only it was started, Mangal Bonde, that incident and all, yes, the Bengal regiment, yes, who belongs to Bengal regiment, Mangal Bonde belongs to Bengal regiment. Yes, so in that area only, Bengal area only, it was started as a Sipai mutiny, but later it expanded in the sense enlarged, it spreaded to other parts of India, involving a large number of civilians. Okay, especially peasants also involved in this revolts against the British, So the events of 1857 and 58, it's very, very important for the following reasons. So what are the reasons are there in your book? Three reasons are given. Okay, page number 78, you can check it, children. Three reasons are there. The first reason is, the first major revolt of this was the 1857 revolt was the first major revolt of armed forces, accompanied in the sense joined, yes, joined with the civilian rebellion. Yes, civil people also, even military people also, they were joined with the armed forces, like that it is given. The second one, the revolt, the 1857 revolt witnessed unprecedented. What is meant by unprecedented? In the sense untold, no one can explain such a revolt. So unprecedented violence perpetrated, what is the meaning? Committed. Okay, committed by both sides. So both sides also, many losses were there. Yes, many of them died in this revolt. The next what is given in the sense, the third one, the revolt endured. Yes, endured the role of the English East India Company and the governance, the government, Indian government, who had taken in charge in the sense by the British Crown. Yes, who had taken the in charge? Yes, Crown. Yes, Victoria, Queen Victoria. Yes, Queen Victoria. So like that it is given. First what is given in the sense? The armed, in this revolt only, the armed forces joined with the civilian rebellion. Civilians in the sense, army people, military people. Okay, so armed forces as well as the military people also joined in this rebellion, like that it is given. The second thing, it witnessed this revolt, 1857 revolt, it witnessed that unprecedented, untold misery, untold violence, committed by both sides, perpetrated, what is the meaning? Committed by both sides. So third point, what is given, the revolt, entered the rule of the English East India Company. Yes, whose power? We all, went under the control of British Crown, like that it is given. Okay, children. Yes, the next what is given in the sense, children, causes. What are the causes for the revolt of 1857? Yes, annexation, the policy of the British. The policy of the British. What are the policies are there in the sense in the lower classes itself? We might have learned, I think so. Okay, annexation policy. What is meant by annexation? Capturing policy. Okay, so the British people, by using their policies, they were captured the Indian territories. Okay, territories, otherwise the Indian territories from the Indian rulers. Okay, that is the annexation. Okay, so which year these are the things that will happen in the sense 1840s and 1850s. Okay, more territories were annexed in the sense captured through two major policies. So what are the policies? Okay, what are the names of the policies in the sense of policy? The doctrine of doctrine of paramountcy. Yes, doctrine of paramountcy, as well as second doctrine in the sense doctrine of lapse. By using these two policies, the British government, they were captured, otherwise they were annexed the territories of India. Okay, so the doctrine of paramountcy, what is the meaning? In the sense paramount, what is that meaning? Supreme power, otherwise supreme authority. The English people, how they were considered themselves in the sense they were supreme, like that they considered themselves. Okay, they were supreme. Yes, so the British people claimed themselves as paramount, like that it is given. Paramount in the sense, what is the meaning? Supreme power. Yes, they are all in all, like that, they were considered themselves. Now that exercising supreme authority. So that time only new territories were annexed on the grounds that the native rulers were inept in the sense inefficient. How they were considered? The British officers, the British soldiers, the British governor generals, how they were considered Indians, Indian kings are inefficient. Okay, inept in the sense inefficient. Such a way, they were considered the Indian rulers. So, this is the policy of paramountcy, otherwise doctrine of paramountcy. Paramountcy in the sense supreme power. They were considered themselves as a supreme. Okay, so that's a meaning. The second policy, what is that in the sense? Doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse in the lower classes itself. You might have learned, children. This is very, very important. Okay, this policy was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. Okay, Lord Dalhousie, that person, what he said, what he declared in the doctrine of lapse in the sense, if the ruler, if the ruler did not have the male child, okay, hair in the sense here, successor. Okay, so if the father died in the sense, the next his son only have to come into the power. Is it? If the ruler, if he did not have the male child, after the death of him, this whole throne, whole areas of that particular king has to move to the British. So that is the policy of doctrine of lapse. Okay, that is the policy of lapse, children. Here it is given, if a native ruler did not have a male successor to the throne, the territory was to lapse into after the death of the particular king, that whole of territory of him, it should be moved to the British. Okay, so it is given here. So what are the areas went like that in the sense? This is the 2-mark answer, children. Listen carefully. Sadara. Okay, so mainly the Hindu states, Sadara, Jhansi, Sambalpur, the parts of the Punjab, Nagpur. So these are the places and all the British people annexed. Okay, through which policy? Through the doctrine of lapse. Through the doctrine of lapse. So doctrine of lapse in the sense, it was the policy of Lord Dalhousie. Okay, so that man only, that governor generally introduced the doctrine of lapse. As per the doctrine of lapse, if the king, yes, if the ruler, if he did not have the male child, yes, after the death of him, he has to hand over, yes, he has to hand over his territories, his palace, everything to the British. He should not adopt any child. He should not adapt any child. Okay, so that is the doctrine of lapse. The next what is given in the sense, this is the first cause, annexation policy. Annexation in the sense, capturing policy of the British India. Okay, the next what is given, children, insensitivity to Indian cultural sentiments. So British people, the last lesson itself I told, I think so, that Indian soldiers, they used to wear the religious marks on their forehead. Is it so? That and all banned by the British people. They were prohibited. Yes, so from wearing those religious marks, then moreover, whiskers, then mustaches and all, such a way only uniformly how to keep, like that beards and all, they should not keep any beard like that and all. They said, in the last class I told you, children, the same thing only. Those things and all insulted the Indian soldiers, that only it is given in this para. Insensitivity. Okay, in the year 1806, the sepoys at Vellore mutinied in the sense rebelled. Okay, the soldiers, the soldiers rebelled against the British, against the new dress code. Okay, which prohibited, what is meant by prohibited? Banned. Okay, banned Indians from wearing the religious marks. Okay, so majority of the soldiers, they were belongs to the Hinduism, is it? Yes, they were the Hindus. Yes, so they were they are the British people, they are telling, yes, the Indian soldiers, not to keep any religious marks on their forehead. So these are the things and all insulted. Okay, insulting thing. Okay, so from wearing religious marks on their foreheads, as well as having whiskers on their chin while proposing, what is the meaning in the sense? Suggest. Okay, proposing, what is the meaning? Suggest to replace their turbans. Turbans, they were changed. The British people, they were changed the turbans of the Indian soldiers with a round hat. So it was feared. So Indian soldiers, what they were thought in the sense, so they are, converting us into the Christianity, like that they were thought. Okay, the Indian soldiers were thought. Moreover, in the year 1824, yes, 1824, what happened in the sense, the Sipais at Parakpur, yes, Parakpur, Sipais at Parakpur near Calcutta. Yes, Parakpur, where it is located in the sense Calcutta area. They were refused. The Indian soldiers of Parakpur regiment, they were refused to go to Burma by sea. Okay, by sea, through the sea, they were refused to go, because what they thought in the sense, if they are moving to Burma by sea, what will happen? They will cross their traditions. They will lose their caste. Okay, so it meant like that. They thought it meant the loss of their caste. Yes, loss of their caste. Otherwise, it will lose their tradition. Okay, it will lose their customs, like that they were believed. Okay, then the sepoys were also upset with the discrimination. What is given in this para in the sense, salaries. Okay, the last lesson itself I told, I think so, the Indian soldiers, they got very little amount only as a salary. Okay, so very poor salary they got it, as well as there was no promotion even. They did not get any promotion. Yes, also. Then Indian sepoys, were paid much less than their European counterparts. They did not get any importance. Yes, the British officers, they did not give any importance to the Indian soldiers. So they felt humiliated and racially abused by the seniors. So abused in the sense, treated with the cruelty, that is the meaning of abused. Okay, yes. Then under the heading of revolt, what are the things are given? B part. Okay, in the B part, what are the things are given? In the sense, a precursor. Yes, a precursor, what is the meaning? In the sense, forerunner, pioneer, munnodi. That is the meaning. Okay, the precursor to the revolt was the circulation of rumor. Yes, in the lower classes, you might have learned under the heading of immediate cause. Okay, so what was the immediate cause of the revolt of 1857? Yes, so they were introduced the new Enfield rifles. Is it rifles in the sense, everyone? Is it gun? They were introduced. In that gun, they were smeared in the sense, that applied. Okay, tadavaru. Okay, so smeared that cartridge. That greases. Okay, so some greases and all, they were smeared in the sense, what is that? Applied in the new cartridges. That grease, it's made up of, it was a rumor, I think. Okay, so that was a rumor, children. Grease is, it's made up of pig fat as well as cow fat, like that rumor was there. So at the same time, now Hindu soldiers, majority of them Hindus, like that I said, no. So the Hindu soldiers, how they were considered in this, how they were considered cow, that's a sacred animal. Okay, so cow, cow is a sacred animal, like that Hindus considered. At the same time, Muslims, how they were considered a pig, it's a detestable animal. Detestable. So this was the immediate reason for the Great Revolt of 1857. That points only given here. See, there was a strong suspicion. Yes, a suspicion in the sense, what is that? Doubt. Okay, doubt was there. Okay, so the new cartridges had been greased with the cow and pig fat, like that. So the cartridges had to be bitten. So before loading, they should be bite that cartridges. Okay, so then only they can load the guns. Okay, so this points and I told just before only, children. Then what happened on 29th March? Yes, Mangal Bonde, he was a Brahmin soldier, Brahmin Hindu soldier. This man, he refused to do so. So that time, what happened? Mangal Bonde assaulted. What is meant by assaulted? He attacked the European officer. Assaulted, what is the meaning? Attacked. Okay, he attacked the English of a European officer. His fellow soldiers, refused to arrest him. So at once, European officer, European officer told that soldiers to arrest Mangal Bonde, but that also they refused to do. So, okay, so Mangal Bonde along with others, were court-martialized. What is meant by court-martialized? Trial by court. Okay, trial by a court, that's a meaning, and hanged. So this only fueled the anger. It increased the anger, and in the following days there were increasing incidents of disobedience. So Indian soldiers, no one obeyed the British officers, generals. Is it? So burning, yes, burning as well as arson. Yes, burning, everyone. Is it setting fire? Is it as arson in the sense also same thing only, kalavaram, like that they used to tell in Tamil. Is it? And they were reported from the army cantonments. What is meant by cantonments? Military quarters, the police quarters in Ambala, Lucknow and Meerut. So those areas and all rebellions, revolt started. Rebellions, started the revolt. So that time what they did to the rebels, Puratchikarargal, what they did in the sense, on 11th May 1857, a band of sepoys. What is meant by band of sepoys? A group of sepoys from Meerut marched to the Red Fort. Okay, Red Fort, where it is located in Delhi. Okay, the sepoys were followed by an equally exuberant. What is the meaning of exuberant? In the sense, with the full energy and excitement they were asked. Okay, with the full exuberant, what is the meaning? Full energy and excitement. Yes, what they were asking, in the sense they were gathered and asked that Mughal emperor, this man, this person only, Bahadur Shah. Okay, Bahadur Shah II. Okay, so he was the last Mughal emperor, children. One word answer. Last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah II. Okay, so this man, to become a leader, to become their leader, like that, who are asking the rebels and all. Yes, the rebels, they were joined together, they were gathered in the Red Fort, then they were asking like that. So after much hesitation, who accepted? Yes, that Bahadur Shah, accepted to be a Shagin Shah. Yes, Shagin Shah-e Hindustan. What is the meaning of that? In the sense, the emperor of Hindustan. The emperor of Hindustan. Soon the rebels, what they did in the sense, this person, Bahadur Shah became the emperor. Yes, emperor of Hindustan. Yes, emperor of Hindustan. At the same time, northwestern provinces as well as Oudh was captured. Oudh in the sense at present Ayodhya like that they are telling, that is Oudh. Okay, so northwestern provinces as well as that Oudh, captured by the rebels. As the news of the fall of Delhi reached the Ganges Valley, cantonment after cantonment in the sense, just before I told that military quarters like that. Is it military quarters? Okay, so by the beginning of June, the British rule in North India except Punjab and Bengal had disappeared. Totally it was disappeared. The British rule had disappeared, excluding Punjab and Bengal. Okay, so the next what is given, civil rebellion, civil war. Yes, civil war, what is the meaning? Internal war. Ulnattu Kalavaram. Okay, Ulnattu Por. Yes, that's the meaning. Next, what is given, civil rebellion. In the civil rebellion, the mutiny, yes, the rebels was equally supported. Yes, whomever supported the rebels people. Okay, whomever supported in the sense, that a rural society of North India. Rural in the sense, very well children, rural in the sense, what is that? Village people. Okay, the village people, everybody supported this rebellions against the British. Okay, then at the same time, that majority of the Sipais, they came from the peasants family like that. In the last class itself, I told, last lesson itself, I told, many Sipais, Indian Sipais, they came from the peasants family. Moreover, this British people, people, what they did in the sense, they were changed the revenue system, revenue administration of India. So because of that changes, whomever suffered, yes, the peasants were suffered. So the peasants family as well as the soldiers also suffered. So that is the meaning of here. Then, the Sepoy revolt as well as the subsequent civil rebellion in various parts. Yes, various parts of India had a deep-rooted connections were there. Okay, connections with the rural mass. The first civil rebellion where it was broke in the sense, it was broke out in the northwestern provinces as well as Oudh. Oudh in the sense, just before I told, at present, Ayodhya like that they are telling. Okay, so they are constructing the Ramar temple, So those areas, northwestern provinces as well as Oudh was captured by the rebels, because from these two areas only, majority of the soldiers, they were joined in the Indian army. They were recruited like that. Next sentences it is given. Recruited, what is the meaning? The sense appointed. Yes, majority of the Sepoys, they came from the northwestern provinces as well as Oudh. Okay, large number of zamindars also, talukdars. So those peoples also supported the rebellions against the British because they were lost their power. No, zamindars, talukdars, those people also they were against the whom? The British government. Yes, so the talukdar as well as the peasants. Yes, they were. Collectively, it was a common effort to recover what they had lost. Just before I told, they had lost number of things, a number of, the privileges. Yes, that's what, they were against the British. Okay, they were joined, so that's what, they were joined with the rebels. So similarly, the artisans as well as the handicrafts, the handicrafts people, crafts making people also supported this rebellions against the British people because they got a number of gifts. Okay, patronage like that one word is given. What is meant by patronage? Support. They got a support from the local kings, chieftains. So those kings and all the kingship methods and all was abolished by the British government. So it was, this handicrafts as well as the artisans also supported this rebellions against the British. Okay, so the dumping of, so that time, dumping of British manufacturers had ruined. What is meant by ruined? Destroyed. Okay, destroyed the Indian handicrafts and thrown thousands of weavers, they were lost their, job opportunities. Otherwise, they were out of the employment. Okay, so that's what a collective anger is. Collective anger against the British took the form of the people's revolt. Okay, so all the set of the people, the kings also agitated against the kings, as well as the taluktas, zamindars, okay, peasants, soldiers, everybody. Okay, everybody, they were against the whom? Against the British government. See, in your book it is given, children, you can check it, hanging the rebels in public place. Okay, so that was the punishment was given by, the British people. Okay, so hanging the rebels in a public place, you can check it, this photo. The next one, blowing mutinous sipais from the guns. Okay, from the guns. So this also, you can, a number of sipais, lost their lives. Okay, the next, the prominent fighters. Who are the fighters are there against the British in the lower classes? You might have learned, is it, Rani, Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi. Yes, Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi. Then, Tandia Tob, that Beham Hazrat Mahal. Okay, so many, that fighters are there, okay, against the British. Okay, so in your book, what are the things are given? We can check it, children. That the mutiny provided a platform, provided a way to the aggrieved kings. What is meant by aggrieved? Angry. Okay, so the kings got angry. Nawabs, queens, and zamindars, they were, showed their angry against the British. Nana Sahib, who was he? In the sense, he was the adopted son of Bishwa Bajirao II. Yes, adopted son of Bishwa Bajirao II. Yes, for this person, Nana Sahib, the British people, they did not give any pension. Okay, they did not give any pension because what was the reason? He was the adopted son, like that they are telling. Okay, he was the adopted son of Bishwa. So on the basis of the doctrine of lapse, is on the basis of the doctrine of lapse, what happened? That, that Lord Dalhousie, what he said, the kings, if they did not have male child, they should not adopt the child. Instead of that, after the death of their king, after the death of the particular king, they have to hand over his ancestors, everything they have to hand over. Yes, to the British, like that, is it? So, that this person, Nana Sahib, he couldn't get the pension, yes, from the company. Then similarly, Beham Hasrat Mahal. Yes, Beham Hasrat Mahal, that she was the wife of, Audh ruler. Okay, so Audh ruler, this person also, the Beham Hazrat Mahal, as well as Khan Bahadur. Yes, Khan Bahadur. So these personalities and all, they were against the British. Okay, they were against the British. Then next, just before I told Rani Lakshmi Bai. Yes, this person, this lady, she was very brave lady who assumed the leadership in Jhansi. Yes, in her case, Dalhousie, that time, who was the Governor General, 1857 time, 1857-58 and all. Sorry, who was the Governor General in the sense, Lord Dalhousie. So this man, had refused her request. What was her request in the sense? After her death of her husband, what happened? This lady asked to the Lord Dalhousie, shall I adopt one child? Because I have no male baby, like that. But this man, totally refused. Okay, so that was the reason, and the kingdom was annexed under the doctrine of lapse. Her kingdom, her kingdom in the sense, which kingdom? Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi. So whole of Jhansi was annexed, to the annexed by the British. So Rani Lakshmi Bai battled. Okay, she fought at a mighty battle, in the sense fought. Sorry, the mighty British army until she was defeated. Yes. So the next, these personalities also, they were against the British. Bahadur Zafar, Kanwar Singh, Khan Bahadur, Rani Lakshmi Bai. So these many people, they were against the against the British authority. Okay, the next C part, what is given in the sense suppression of the rebellion. Okay, in the suppression of the rebellion by the beginning of the June 1857, yes, Delhi, Meerut, Rohilkhand, Agra, Allahabad, Banaras. So these armies had been restored to British. The British people again, they were recaptured, restored in the sense, what is the meaning? Recaptured the British to the British control and placed under martial law. Martial law in the sense military law was proclaimed. Okay, declared. That's the meaning. The next, what are the reasons for the failure of the revolt of 1857? What are the reasons are there? Yes, the first reason, what is that in the sense, it was organized and planned. Yes, organized as well as which revolt, 1857 revolt, it was organized as well as planned. It was spontaneous. What does mean by spontaneous in the sense, voluntarily it was happened. Yes, no one forced to do. No one forced to do. The people were agitated against the British because they got much, problem from the British, from the hands of the British. That's what, they were against the British, like that they are telling. However, soon after the siege of Delhi, siege in the sense capture. Siege in the sense, what is the meaning? Capture of Delhi, there was an attempt. Okay, there was an attempt to seek the support of the neighboring states. But, few Indian states, they did not give any support. Okay, so lack of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm in the sense, there was a lack of interest. Arvaminmai. Yes, so among the Indian princes to participate in the rebellion. So the Indian princes as well as zamindars, either sometimes, some princes, Indian princes as well as zamindars, they were loyal to the British. Okay, so that's what, this also one more reason for the causes for the failure of the revolt of 1857. Yes, so lack of cooperation, lack of unity. Okay, so such a way and all we can tell. Then those involved in the rebellion also were left. Yes, sometimes, in between some rulers, Indian princes were left from the rebellion. Then educated middle class, they did not support. Okay, the educated middle class people, they did not support the rebellion. So these are the reasons for the failure of the revolt of 1857. Okay, so another important, absence of the central authority. The central India people, they did not involve in the, the central India people, they did not involve in the rebellion. There was no common agenda. Yes, so these are the reasons that they are telling. Okay, so moreover, aspirations of the Indian princes and the various other feudal elements fighting against the British. So these are the reasons they are telling. In the end, what happened? The rebellion was brutally suppressed. Okay, so the revolt, 1857 revolt, it was brutally suppressed, cruelly suppressed by the British army. Okay, the rebel leaders, they have no powerful weapons, modern weapons, they don't have, as well as no organization was there, no leadership was there, no proper leadership, there was no discipline. And then betrayal by their aides. Okay, betrayal by their aides in the sense of, Nambikai Droham, betrayal in the sense by their aides. So Delhi was captured by the British troops in the late 1857. So this is very, very important, children. Bahadur Shah. This person, he was the last Mughal emperor. Bahadur Shah II, he was captured and transported to Burma. Transported, otherwise here we can tell exiled. Naadu kadathapattar. It's a mean. Sorry, children. Okay, transported in the sense exiled. EXILED. Okay, so likewise also we can tell. The next, what is given in the sense, India become a crown colony. Okay, so the British Parliament, followed the Indian Government Act. Okay, they were, passed the Indian Government Act in the year 1858. Yes, otherwise, Indian 1858, the famous proclamation which was issued by Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria's proclamation. On the basis of this only, it is given. On the basis of the Queen Victoria's proclamation, that India, went under the control of the British Crown. Okay, then moreover, Secretary of State post was created. Secretary of State post was created. So these are the things are given, children. The next one, changes. Yes, what are the changes in the administration? It's very, very important, children. Listen carefully. Changes in the administration, in the sense the British rule and its policies underwent a major overhaul. Overhaul in the sense overtake. Okay, it was overtake after 1857. The British people followed a cautious approach to the issue of social reform. Moreover, in that last para, I forgot to tell children one point. I forgot to tell in this, and what is the point in the sense, Queen Victoria, what she proclaimed in the proclamation, in the sense hereafter, they never ever, the British government never ever interfere in the social customs of customs as well as traditions of Indians, like that one point. Okay, then Queen Victoria proclaimed to the Indian people that the British, would not interfere. So this is the point. So they never ever interfere in their traditional institutions and religious matters. Okay, so religious marks, for that only this is the problem, isn't it? So that's what they are telling. Then moreover, Indians, it was promised that Indians would be observed in government services. So two significant changes were made in the structure of the Indian army. The number of Indians, okay, the number of Indians was significantly reduced. Okay, so reduced, as well as the Indians were restrained. Indians were restrained from holding the important ranks and positions. Yes, they did not get the important post, and the British people took control of artillery. Artillery, in the sense, what is the meaning? Birangi. Okay, so they had a control over the artillery, and shifted their recruiting effort to the religious as well as effort to regions and communities that remain loyal. So they turned away. Yes, they did not give any importance to the Hindu states. See, Rajputs, Brahmins, and North Indian Muslims as well as, and they were looked towards Sikhs, Gurkhas. Okay, so their view, totally changed towards the Gurkhas, Sikhs, and Pathans. The British people also exploited the caste, religious, linguistic. What is meant by linguistic? Languages. Okay, linguistic, what is the meaning? Languages and regional differences in the Indian society. Okay, so through this, what policy they were started to follow, in the sense divide and rule policy, because they did not mind that Hindus, Muslims, the last line I told, is it, they did not give any importance to the Hindus, is it, Hindus as well as the Muslims, Brahmins, Rajputs and all, they did not take care. But instead of that, they were taken, that Gurkhas, Sikhs, Pathans. So this way, which policy they are going to follow, in the sense of divide and rule policy. Divide and rule policy. They were divided the people. They were divided the Indians. Okay, so that's a thing, children. The next one, what is given in the sense 7.3, you can check it. It's very interesting, children. But that indigo cultivators, they were suffered a lot. Okay, the indigo revolt in the year 1859 to 1860. Yes, 1859 to 1860. It's very, very important, children. Is before synthetic dyes were created, natural dye was highly valued by the cloth makers. So when they are preparing that designs in the cloth, they were used these colors, this design center. So before synthetic dyes were created, natural dyes only they were used. So many Europeans employed the Indian peasants to grow the indigo. Yes, indigo sayam tayarikkiradhukaga. Okay, so that in order to prepare the dye. Okay, yes, for clothes. Then many Europeans employed the peasants to grow the indigo, which was processed into dye at the planters' factories. Okay, so process and all, where it will be, in the sense in the planters' factories. Okay, so that dye, afterwards, after working over in this, works everything over, in the sense it used to export into the Europe. Okay, so the peasants were forced to grow the crop. Okay, the peasants, the Indian peasants, they should not cultivate any food crops. Instead of that, only indigo only they have to cultivate. It was a problem. Okay, so this was the main problem. So the British people forced to grow the crop. Yes, the British planters gave the cultivators a cash advance. Okay, the cultivators cash advance கொடுத்துருவாங்க. Okay, so to help pay for the rent of the land and other cost. So this advance, listen, this advance needed to repay, okay, with the interest. Okay, so the capital amount, they have to repay with the interest. Okay, so the planters forced the peasants to grow only the indigo rather than food crops. Food crops, no one cultivated. So Indian peasants, they must cultivate only the indigo. So at the end of the season, what happened? The planters paid the cultivators low prices for their indigo. Yes. So that planters, what they did in the sense, they were giving very low prices for the indigo to the cultivators. So moreover, the small amount the peasant earned was not enough to pay back the capital as well as the interest. The cash advance like that it is given now. Capital like that I am telling, cash advance with the interest. So they fell into the debt. Debt in the sense, what is that? Kadan. Okay, so capital amount also they have to repay, as well as interest also they have to repay to the planters. So however, the peasants again would be forced to enter into another contract to grow indigo. So again, they will give the capital amount, okay, cash amount, cash advance. So the peasants were never able to clear their debts. Okay, so this was that. So debts were often passed from father to son. Okay, father to son. So this much only given, children. The next what is given, that indigo revolt, when it was started in the sense 1859, it was started. The rebellion started as so strike as the peasants, peasants in a village, Bengals, which district in the sense, Nadia. Yes, Nadia district refused to grow any more indigo. Okay, anymore, we never ever cultivate indigo like that. The peasants were started the strike. The peasants movement, the movement quickly spread to other indigo growing districts also. Okay, so the revolt then turned as a violent is the turned as a violent. The peasants, both Hindus, Muslims, participated in the revolt, and women also armed with so they were carried the pots as well as pans, fought alongside of men. So Indian journalists, how they were described, this revolt, this indigo cultivators revolt, how they were described, so Indian journalists in Calcutta wrote articles about the brutality, okay, brutality, kodumai, yes, cruelty of the planters in the 1860s play. Yes, 1860s play, Neil Durban. Yes, Neil Durban is very, very important. Mirror of the Indigo by Dinabandhu Mitra. Yes, one word answer, children, by Dinabandhu Mitra. What article he had written in the sense, Neil Durban. Neil Durban in the sense, meaning what is that in the now? Mirror of the indigo. Yes, it did much draw attention. So world level, people came to know about the whose problem? That cultivators, indigo cultivators problem. Okay, so indigo cultivators problem, everybody came to know. So after that, what happened in the sense? Students, we can mark the question answers because last class I did not make you to mark any questions. So take it, page number, choose the correct answer. Page number which one? You can check it, children. Page number 86. Page number 86. You can check it. First one, Farasi movement. Farasi movement. Second one, Tudumian. 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 Third one, Santhals. 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 Next one, fourth one, Pipin Chandrapal. Fourth one, Pipin Chandrapal. Fifth one, 16th October 1905. Sixth one, Munda Rebellion. Sixth one, Munda Rebellion. Seventh one, Tilak. Eighth one, Dinabandhu Mitra. Just before I said Dinabandhu Mitra. Next one, fill in the blanks. You can write it without spelling mistakes. Write it. The Wahhabi. The Wahhabi. How to pronounce, The Wahhabi. Second one, Coal Revolt. Coal Revolt. Third one, Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act. Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act. Fourth one, 1908. 1908. Fifth one, 1885. 1885. Yes. Next one, assertion answer. First one, A. A is the option. Second one B is the option. Second one B is the option. Third one A is the option. Third one A is the option. Option A is the correct answer. Fourth one, option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Match the following. Wahhabi rebellion, Titumir. Munda rebellion, Ranchi. Begum Hazrat Mahal, Lucknow. Kanwar Singh, Bihar. Nana Sahib, Peshwa Bajirao II. Peshwa Bajirao II. Yes. Next one, page numbers you can mark it. First two answers, page numbers mark it, 75 and 76. First question. Next one, page number 78. Then essay also. First one 78, 80. 78, 80. So this much only, children. So page number you can take it, 75 you can take it, children. 5-2 answer we can 5-1 and 5-2 we can mark it. Page number 75. Okay. Page number 75 under that 7.1 second para. 7.1 second para. First line onwards 5-1. The next page till D mass insurrection. Till D part mass insurrection. That 4 types of the rebellion you have to write for the first question 5-1. Then 5-2 answer, it's very easy, children. Page number 78. Page number 78. Under that doctrine of lapse para. Under that doctrine of lapse where it is in the sense causes para it is given now. Causes causes annexation policy of British. In that third para. Doctrine of lapse. Under that Sadara onwards. From the last third line. Sadara onwards till doctrine of lapse. Yes, that's all. Next essay answer. Discuss the causes of the revolt of 1857. Okay, causes in the sense page number 78. 78. Causes it is given here. Under that 7.2. Under that 7.2. 7.2. That first para. The event, the last two lines, the events of 1857-58 are the significant for the following reasons. The 3 points you have to write. Then afterwards causes para. Under that causes annexation policy of British. Then second one insensitivity to Indian cultural sentiments. Then B part. Then Bahadur Shah proclaimed as the Emperor of Hindustan para. Civil rebellion. Yes. Then prominent fighters against the British. Suppression of rebellion. So these are the things how to write. Causes for the failure no need to write. Till C. Till C you have to write. Okay, children. Okay, in the last class I gave the homework, I think so. From that history part I gave, I think so. History 6th lesson you can start learning. Okay, history 6th lesson. This is 7th lesson. History 6th lesson you can start learning. Okay, whenever you are getting time, you have to sit and learn. Okay, children, thank you. Next class we can meet. Next class, I will complete this lesson. The 7th lesson I will complete. Then afterwards, 8th lesson I will start. Okay. Okay, children, thank you.